This next drawing is located on page 2-32 of your book. It's drawing 2-3 at the end of the chapter problems, this swivel base. This drawing is going to bring up and show you a unique problem and also give you a way to solve it. So let's just get right into the drawing. We're going to start just by drawing this 60 length line at the bottom. Note, this drawing is in millimeters. Take a look here. Dimensions are in millimeters. So we need to make sure our drawing is set up for millimeters. My drawing, I know, already is. How do you set yours up? Well, if you're starting from scratch, you could just select Start from Scratch and then choose millimeters. So you could just do File, New, choose Metric, and you'll automatically start for millimeters. The other way to do it is to simply go into Format and Units. And here you can choose millimeters, which will essentially set you up for a metric drawing. Okay, so we'll work, I guess from this one it really doesn't matter much. So the first thing we're going to do is let's just draw that length of 60 line. We can start anywhere. Make a line of length 60. Come back to the drawing. Now, if this is a radius 30, we know directly above it is a radius 30. That means that 60 above it, we have this other line, which will also be a length of 60. So let's just do a copy. And I'm just going to drop that drawing out of the way. We select this. We click on the center. Remember, if you click on the end, you're going to either do a stretch or a lengthen. Clicking on the center will start by doing a move, but then if you type C, enter, that move becomes a copy. So then we type 60. Well, actually, the first thing we need to do is make sure we're moving it in the correct dimension. So once we start moving it up, we can type 60 and hit enter. And that will place it away. Now that looks a little long, so I'm just going to check that. But no, it is 60. And one thing to note is your screen views don't always match up with reality, so sometimes your drawings can look a little bit different. I'm just going to confirm this. So this is really a radius of 30, so that should be a length of 60. Okay, so that is actually correct. All right, so now we're going to, let's put these circles in. So these circles will be actually 30 up from this lower edge. And we'll have a diameter of, one will have a diameter of 20, one will have a diameter of 30 for the two center circles. So circle diameter. Now, what we can do, and again, just to make sure everybody has the same settings, I've got my tracking settings set for 90, 180, 270, and 60. I should put my polar snap on, snap to polar angles on. show snapping reference lines on, the object snap tracking, and then snap to 2D cursor reference lines on, the O snap, object snap. And the reason for that is when I want to place this circle, remember I had diameter 20 and 30, I can start down here, and I haven't hit a mouse button yet. So I place it on that end point, and then I start moving up. I get that tracking line. Once I get that tracking line, I know the center point between those two lines is 30, so I can type 30 and hit enter, and automatically I'm placing my circle here in the right location. So I can type 20, and that gives me the right diameter. I then take my next circle. I already have the center point here. Now I can type 30, enter. Now I could type another circle of diameter 60 and do a trim, but we know how to do arcs. So let's choose a start, center, end arc here. So we can start at the top, choose the middle for the center, and then end at the bottom. So now we have this side of the drawing done. We know that at a distance of 96, we have another circle of diameter 20. So let's just copy that inner circle and move it over by 96. So we take the inner circle, we select it, click on the center, where now we're moving it, but we don't want to move it, we want to copy it. So after we start the move, we type C and hit enter. Now we're doing a copy. And then here we can just type, once we're moving in the direction to the right, type 96, and it will move it over 96. And now while we're at it, remember we had that small circle in the middle? Well, let's put that small circle in. That was located at a distance of 48, or halfway between the two. So we can type 48 and hit enter. Finally hit escape because we don't want to do any more copies. So that circle here is wrong. It's the wrong diameter. It needs to be a diameter of 10, but we can fix that. We click on the circle, type quick properties, and just change the diameter to 10. Now, note what happened. I didn't cancel previously. So I actually changed the diameter of two circles. So I need to go back, change it to 20, hit escape so I cancel. So now I'm only selecting this one circle. I like quick properties better, so I don't have to look at all the information. Diameter 10. Okay, so now I've only selected and changed the small inner circle. All right, back to the drawing. So we have this line of unknown length that's going to turn into an end at this circle with a radius of 15. And we have this radius of 20 arc that we're going to put in. Well, let's just put a line in here, and we'll just extend it. We don't know how far it's going to go. And let's actually do that by starting here. If this is radius 20, we know the distance between here and here is 40. Now we've already said the distance from one side to the other is 60, so that means the distance from here to here has to be 10. So let's actually continue by instead of having this arc here, by putting a box or square. So we're going to go up by 10 and then over by 36. And if we've done it right, we should end up at the same x coordinate as this circle. So let's do that. So we start here, we go up by 10, and actually this snap to polar angles does not need to be on. I think that can cause some little issues occasionally. Up by 10 and then over by 36. Now if we continue to go up, we can see we go right through that circle. So remember we said that outer diameter, that outer arc, had a radius of 20, so it would be a diameter of 40. So we can move up by 40 and hit enter. Move over by 36 and hit enter. And then go ahead and complete this outside arc. Excuse me, this outside shape, not an arc. Now we're going to select and delete this line, but do not delete this line yet, and do not change those lines. Let's add the arc here to finish boxing off this end. So we have a start, center, end. So start, center. We're in the wrong direction, so we have to hold down the control key. That'll let us put it in the right direction. All right, so there we have the part, but we're missing this angle. So let's go ahead and add let's look at the drawing for a second. Let's add a tan radius circle here. So do a tan on that vertical line. So tan on the horizontal line, tan on the vertical line, and radius of 15. So we choose our circle, tan radius. So we do a tan, and now we want the radius, and we simply type 15. And I don't think we're going to have an issue because I hit that center mark, but we'll find out in a second. And we don't. Now, you might be saying, oh, wait a minute. We do, Professor L, because we're not actually making contact there. And the answer is, well, you're right. However, in order to, because this length is only 10, in order to actually put in a tan radius circle, we would actually have to have a length here of 15. Because this radius is 15. So to get a real tangent here, the tangent would really be up here. So the way the tan radius circle works is that it assumes that this line gets extended off into infinity. So it can't actually put a tangent here, because if it put a tangent here, it would have to sink this circle below. And you actually have to select this horizontal line before the vertical line, I believe, if I recall correctly. And if we come to the bottom here, we choose this one first, then that one, and then type 15, we get something that didn't look right. tan, tan, 15. No, I guess it doesn't matter. For some reason, I had thought that if you selected this line first, it didn't work out properly. But it does. Okay, so what do we have to do here? Let's take a look. What we have to do is we have to come over here. We have to blow this up. Get a good zoom on it. We select the circle. And then we have to move it. Now we don't want to select this move in the center. What we want to do is right click and choose move. And then it wants us to specify the base point. So the base point is where we're going to move it from. And this is what we're going to do. The base point that we're going to specify is actually going to be on our drawing, not on the circle. So we're going to specify the base point as this corner. So we click on this corner. Sorry, that's wrong. We choose move. We go to the corner, but we don't select the corner. We don't hit enter here. What we do is we get the tracking line coming out. And we get the tracking line to the intersection. Remember, so we just have a tracking line. I have not hit enter yet. If you don't get that tracking line, go back in the video to where I set these up. So F10 needs to be on, F11 needs to be on, and F3 needs to be on. So again, I haven't hit any mouse buttons. I selected move. I choose the corner. I slide over till I get the intersection. Now when I get the intersection, I hit the right mouse button. Now I'm actually doing the move. So what do? I now move this till I get the box again. So what I've done is I've moved the circle to the point where it intersects with my drawing. After I do that, I can delete this line. I can set up a trim, select this circle, hit enter, delete that line, set up another trim, select these two surfaces, and then delete the outside line. And we have finished the top part. So fortunately you get to see this again if you are a little bit bewildered about what happens. And let me blow this up maybe even a little bit more. Go blow it up like that. So what we do again, we select the circle. We right click our mouse. So I'm not on the circle here. I right click the mouse. Excuse me. I select the circle with a left click. Yeah, then I right click the mouse and choose move. After I choose move, I come down to this corner of our drawing, when I get the little green box, I bring out my tracking line. I don't hit the mouse button yet. I bring out the tracking line till I get the intersection of the circle. That's where I hit the mouse button. Then I bring that tracking line back until I intersect with the drawing corner again. Once I hit that drawing corner, I get that green box. I hit enter again. That places the circle right at the corner. So the intersection, the corner now intersects directly with the edge of the circle, and we're still tangent down here. Then once I've done that, I can delete this piece. I can trim by selecting the circle, hitting enter, and then deleting that piece. That leaves us looking like this. And then I can trim again by selecting this piece and this piece. I hit enter, and then I delete the outside portion of the circle. That completes our drawing, I believe. Yes. So all we're missing now is the center line right down the middle and the center lines for the drawing itself. And actually, that isn't a center line down the middle. Those are just center lines for the circles. So let's go ahead and do that. So we go into layers. Again, remember, add layer is this very first stack of sheets. So we click on that to add the layer. We type center. Let's make that capital. Change it to green. For line type, choose load. We want to choose center 2. Hit OK. Hit OK again. Oh, no, what I didn't do is I didn't select the center 2. If you see that, the line type is still continuous. So now I come over here. I want to make sure my line type is selected to be center 2. And I hit OK. So now I'm going to choose my center line. I'm going to make sure that I'm putting in a center line and not a center mark. So I'm going to go into Format, Dimension Style, Modify Symbols and Arrows, change the center line, hit OK, hit close. So choose my center mark, choose my outside circle, choose my center mark, choose my outside circle. Now when I come here, choose my center mark, choose my center mark and my outside circle, and why did it do that for the center line? Let me just go back and check my Did I hit something? Format, dimension, style, modify. Nope, we're still on center line. It must be that the lines aren't long enough. Oh yeah, the way the lines aren't long enough to put another line here. But there's another issue anyway, because if we look here, you see that it generally wants a much longer line. So there are two things you can do. One is you can actually put in a circle that you use just to put in the center line. Let me show you what I mean. So I could come over here, choose circle diameter. Sorry. Frankly, it doesn't matter because I'm going to delete it, that it's on the center layer. But click on the center, choose a circle of diameter 20. Hit enter. And then remember, previously we used this to make the center line. Now let's use this other circle to make the center line, or the center mark. So I choose center mark. I choose this outer circle. So now I get a nice larger center mark. So that's pretty good. If we wanted to, we could extend this out a little bit to basically complete our drawing. So we don't actually have to draw a line in. And that completes our drawing. Of course, always make sure that you save. Just a reminder, you should always be saving and submitting AutoCAD drawings, not PDF drawings. I'm going to overwrite my 2-3 drawing. And this is the end of the video.